Hey everyone, I'm Jill the Wandering Stamper. I hope you're having a fabulous week. I just got back from a couple of camping trips, one with my youngest daughter to a state park for a week where we had lots of fun on a big lake, and then we came back and the next day went to Grand Teton and Yellowstone National Parks with our oldest daughter and grandchildren as well. So it's been 3 weeks of trips and lots of fun, and I couldn't wait to get back to my stamp area, get everything pulled back out and set back up, because as you know, we move, we got to pack it all away. So it's back out and I've been playing. So today we're going to make an accordion window flip card. It's super easy, but it's really fun, and you can use so many different dies to cut out the little element on the front. So I'm going to show you my version of it using the Choose Happy bundle or Choose Happy stamp set. So let me take a moment to turn down the camera and we'll get started. I'm so glad you joined me today. Here's what we're using today. This is the card that we're creating. Look how fun this card is. And it sits up on the counter, so cute, and I love how you can display it from the front or the middle. So that's what we're making today. We're going to use some 2025-2027 in color flat pearls. That was a mouthful. And then we're going to use the Choose Happy stamp set. I love the stamp set. It doesn't have any dies, but you don't need them. Everything's very simple. But you can use these all throughout the year. There's Thanksgiving, there's autumn, winter, birthday, healing, summer, Easter, spring, heart. You can do Valentine's Day, Thanksgiving, summer, birthday, Christmas, just Halloween. There's just so much you can do with this. I love that they put little faces. Everything's easy to cut out, and it will virtually go with anything. So this is a great little stamp set, and if you're a beginner and just looking for something to start playing with, this would be a really good set because you can mix and match so many different things. So we're going to use that. We are using some clear wink of Stella, so I've grabbed that. We're using the largest two circles from the I want to say they're Stylish Shapes. Wait a minute. Yes, the Stylish Shape dies. These are a great die, multi-purpose set of dies. So Stylish Shapes will give you so much that you can use with so many cards. We're going to use, like I said, the two largest dies. Then I pulled some black cardstock, some strawberry slush, and some basic white. And then these two designer series papers come from the 2025-2027 in color paper pack. These are 6x6 papers with 4 different designs on them, and they come in all the in color colors. So those are the newest colors that came out. So that's what we're using. Minimal products, just a little bit of die cutting. Oh, and I'm also going to use this oval die. I don't think it's current anymore, but you can use any die you want. I just happen to have this, so I'm going to use it, and it cuts out a layered set of ovals, so we're using it for the Choose Happy. But you could use anything. You can fussy cut, you can use any die you have, whatever. So very versatile. All right, let's grab the paper cutter and get started. I've changed my area around just a little bit, so I'm going to see how it works. You know, when you move around and you have to pack everything up, sometimes when you bring it out, you just try new things. So that's what we're doing. All right, we're cutting a piece of cardstock in strawberry slush that is, I just covered up all my instructions, 5.5 by 8.5. So I'm just putting that on my cutter. This is a full sheet of paper, so I know I'm just cutting it in half. And then we're going to score it at 4 1/4. So just your basic card front. So there we go. I'm going to grab that good old bone folder and give it a nice little crease. We'll set that aside. Now, you can layer this as much as you want. I've decided I'm going to add a piece of basic white behind my cardstock, my designer series paper. So I'm going to make that slightly smaller. So instead of 5.5, I'm going to do 5 3/8. Trying to get my scraps out of the way. Instead of 4 1/4, I'm going to do 4 1/8. So it's just slightly smaller than our strawberry slush. So you just have a very narrow outline. I just wanted a little pop of that white. And then I'm going to grab my designer series paper, which I chose this leaf design because I just thought it went really well with the bees. The stripe is really great. There's also one with flowers. That one will work really well as well, but I decided to use this one. So I'm going to cut this one 4 by 5 1/4, and I'm going to make sure my leaves are facing the right way and cut that at 4 inches by 5 1/4. So that's just slightly smaller than our white piece, so everything will layer nicely. I just wanted that little pop of white in between so it really pops out. All right, so that is done. We're going to set that scrap aside. Now you're going to need whatever you want for the middle. For this card, I'm going to use basic white, but you could use any color. You want 5 by 8, so I've got that other half of the sheet of paper. So I'm going to cut that at 5 inches by 8 inches. I know this is 8 1/2, so I'm just going to put it over here on the cutter and cut this 1/2 inch off. So now I've got my 5 by 8 piece of basic white, and I'm going to score it at 2 inches, 4 inches, and 6 inches. Super simple. 2 inches, 4 inches, and 6 inches. All right, so we're going to set that aside. And before you came on, I used the smallest die, and I cut this little circle for the front. So we're going to set that aside, but we do need to cut our big circle. So let me show you how I did that. Now, move this out of the way. On our card, I could have actually waited to cut it and cut it all at once, but that's okay. It doesn't matter. So what I'm doing is I'm going to be cutting the middle of this. So before I do that, I'm just going to go ahead and put all the layers together so I can cut it all the way through all 3 layers so the whole middle of our card is cut out. So I'm going to start out with the top layer, and I'm just going to put my liquid glue around the edge because I don't want to put it in the middle because I can reuse those shapes if I don't glue them together. It's okay if you do get glue on them, no big deal. But I'm just putting my glue on the outside because I'm going to put a little bit extra on the top and bottom because it is thicker, and I know I'm not going to hit my circle. But I want this to be not glued so that I can use whatever's punched out in the middle of it. I just like to use as much of my scraps as I can, and I'm sure you do too. Paper's expensive. We want to use it wisely. So I'm just layering this narrow little margin on here and lining it up, getting it all just the way I want it. All right, so that's there. So now I'm going to layer it on the front, and again, I'm going to do the same thing. I'm only going to put that glue, maybe do a little bit here, and then I'm just going to do one stream down the sides, and then maybe a little extra on the bottom because my circle is going to be in the middle. So I just don't want any glue where my circle is going to be because I want to use that punched out circle piece for something else. All right, so let's put that down, give it a good press. So there's our card front. So now we want to cut this out. So I'm going to open up my card and I'm going to figure out where I want this. I think I'm going to put it slightly down from center, just like that. And I'm going to grab a couple pieces of my reusable tape. This is the Post-it labeling cover-up tape, and I just keep my pieces on my die cutting machine and just use them until they don't stick anymore. This one's almost not sticky. Throw them away and get a new piece. So I use this over and over. So I've got this taped in place. So I'm going to go ahead. I didn't want to cut it ahead of time because I wanted you to see what I'm doing. But let me run this through the cutter real quick. I know you probably can't see it all. That's okay. You don't need to. I just wanted to show you the method to my madness, and you've seen it. So let me run this through real quick. And since this is 3 layers, I'll usually run it through. Hold on, getting crazy. Run it through, and then I'll run it back through the other way, just to give it that extra cut. All right, let's get that out of the way and get our surface back. Okay. So these dies work really well. So as you can see, it cut through. And what I do is just gently, from this side, I just gently press it. I'll take these off. Sometimes I leave them on and they tear, so they don't tear my paper, they just tear my stickers and I can't use them anymore. So I like to just go from behind and just kind of press it, make sure it all perforated, because we are going through 3 pieces, a piece of designer series paper and 2 pieces of cardstock. So it is a lot. So I can see this side just didn't go just quite as much as I would like. So we're just going to gently move it along. And you can also just put it back on your die cutter and run it through one more time and you'll be good. This was pretty much all done, so there we go. So our middle is cut out perfectly. And look, because I didn't get any glue on my pieces, I have these pieces for something else that I can use later. So that's why I don't like to get the glue on my middles. Okay, let's get these dies out of the way. Now I'm going to show you how to assemble this card. We're going to do the rest is just decorating. All right, so let's go ahead and work on our middle. So to create this middle panel, all you have to do is you're gonna, from left to right, you're gonna do a mountain fold and just go ahead and give them a good crease. All right, and then you're gonna do another mountain fold, so 2 mountain folds. And then the third one is going to be a valley fold. Okay, so from left to right, you've got mountain, mountain, valley, and it's going to go in your card like this. Okay, just like that. So before you put that in there, we're going to go ahead and do some stamping. I've got a brand new tuxedo black, so this should be nice and juicy. And I'm going to grab my little bee. I love the little bee, it's so cute. I'm going to grab that, and we're going to grab the flower. Get me another block, because bees and flowers go together. All right, so we've got those 2. So I'm going to ink this up, and I'm just going to make my bee. I only want to decorate these 2 panels right here, the 2 panels on the right. So I'm going to have my bee start here, and then maybe he'll go this way. And I love a brand new inker because you get nice crisp images. And then we'll have him go this way and maybe have him go this way. So we'll do 4. I'm going to wipe him off. And then my flower, because we want him to have something to pollinate, I'm going to do my flower right here. So you can see he's just going to fly right to that flower. All right. I'm going to leave that open for a second because the next thing we're going to do is we're going to grab the word happy and bee. These are teeny tiny. So I'm going to put my bee on this one, and I'm going to put happy on this one, and I'm going to grab my strawberry slush ink because we want to pull in our strawberry slush paper. So I'm going to ink up happy, and I'm going to put it right here in the middle, hopefully straight. Okay. And then I'm going to grab, we're going to close this up so there's not a catastrophe. And now I'm going to ink up B with black. And I'm gonna just put it right above happy. Just like so. Look how cute that is. I love these stamps. They're so versatile. Okay. Let's also, while we have this ink out and all of our creatures, I have some scrap paper here. I'll grab my scissors and cut some of this off. All right. I have one flower. I'm not real happy with that bee because my old ink pad was getting a little dull. So I'm going to go ahead and ink this one up. Okay. You're going to need a bee for the front, so that's what that is, and a flower for the front, which I've already done the flower. All right, so that's done. Let's go ahead and do some quick coloring. So I'm going to grab my Daffodil Delight and my Granny Apple Green and my Wink of Stella. So I'm going to use the darker one this time. I used the lighter for my sample card, but I'm going to use the darker shade. And I'm just going to color those little stripes on our bees, turn them into bumblebees. There have been so many bumblebees here. The wildflowers are all blooming in Colorado right now, so the bumblebees are everywhere, and they're so much fun to watch. I'm all about saving those bees. Okay, now our flower I did in light Granny Apple Green and then went over it with dark. I actually haven't gone back over it with light. So, oh, this is dark. It's okay. We'll just do it that way. That looks okay. All right, let's put these out of the way. And if you make if it's too dark, you can use the color lifter and take a little color out. Now I have this clear Wink of Stella, and what I like to do is brush the leaves with the clear wink because it gives them a sparkle. So all these little wings, did I say leaves? I meant to say wings. All these little wings have a little shimmer to them, which I think in fairyland, I think all the bees would have shimmers on their wings, just like the fairies. So we're going to put shimmer on their wings. And I did not color this flower, so we're also going to do that. So this is really quick and easy way to add some shimmer and just a little extra dimension to your images. So that is all there is to it. Just like that. Well, let's grab that Granny Apple Green real quick and color these leaves. Really easy to do. These are very basic stamps, so the coloring is really simple. And let's grab some Daffodil Delight for the middle of our flower. And then I'm going to use the dark to just draw a little emphasis on my little petal line here. And that's it. Really simple. All right, now that that's done, we can go ahead and put it together. I'm going to cut this out, and I'm going to cut this flower out because we're going to need that in a few minutes. All right, so let's start doing some assembly. So as I mentioned, this is where the card goes, right here. So I like to fold it in, so the two panels on the left are like open like this and cover the card. So it's going to go in the card so that your top and your bottom should be about equal. So I usually just kind of get it where it all looks equal. All right. And then I'm only going to put glue. You only want your glue to land when the card closes here. So I'm just going to put it right along the edge of my card. And then I'm going to go up the side like that. You don't want to go so far in that it would show where your circle is, but this is just fine. You don't need a lot. All right, so that's done. I'm just going to push my card closed and give it a good rub. All right, I'm going to flip my card over. And now I'm going to put glue on this panel here, which is going to adhere to that part of the card. So again, I'm just going to put my liquid glue right around here. And then I'm going to close my card and give it a good press. And there we go. See how easy that is? So that's how the inside goes. All right, so we have that done. Let's work on the outside. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to grab that. I want to add my little, where is it? I want to add my little bee trail, but I don't want to cut that out. So I'm going to take my ink and I'm only going to ink up that little trail, just like that. And I'm just going to kind of figure out where I want this, and I'm going to put it maybe about right here, just like that. Okay, that's all I want. All right, now we're going to get this back out of the way, and we're going to do a little fussy cutting. So I'm going to do this real quick. Okay, there is our bee and our flower. So that is done. So now we just have to put it together. So where is our shape? So we have that shape that we cut out earlier, and it fits, of course, right back in that hole perfectly. So we're going to layer this onto that circle. I'm just going to add my liquid glue. Pop this on, and you can use any shape you want for this card as long as it's going to pop through the opening. That's really key. That's really the key part of it. All right, let's use some dimensionals for these pieces. So I've got some minis and some big ones. Get our wink out of the way. Oh, this one. So we'll put a big one, and we'll use a little one for this one. That. And I'm going to grab my sticky scissors and cut some of this extra edge to go on my flower leaves. So we'll put one there and one there, so we don't want our flower getting squished. All right. So let's take these little papers off. All right, so our bee is just going to go right where the end of our little trail was, and then we'll put our flower like this. All right, so now this is going to go on the front. All right, so you see the front, we have a score line right here that's a mountain fold. So we want to put our glue to the right of the score line. So the right side of the shape gets liquid glue or whatever adhesive you're using. All right, do not put glue on the left side because then it's not going to open. So we're going to go ahead and put this back in the middle and give it a nice little press. Make sure it's all firm on there. And voila. So there is our flip card. All right, so let's go ahead and finish this up. We have our greeting on the front. So I'm going to grab my scrap paper again. We've got this little scrap here. And let's grab our strawberry slush. And in that card you have, in that stamp set, you have the words choose and happy. So I thought, you know what? I'm going to make it say choose happy on the outside and be happy on the inside. I thought that was fun. So let me find happy. Where's it hiding? Oh, I already have happy out on a block. That's why I can't find it. All right, so we'll start out with choose. And get a hair on there. So I'm just going to pop that on there. And then I'm going to mount the word happy. And I'm going to stand up so I get this straight, hopefully. And I'm going to put the happy so that it kind of wraps around the word choose. So let's try it about right here. Okay. Just like that. All right. Now I'm going to grab that punch, and again, if you don't have the punch, no problem. Just use whatever die you have, or just fussy cut around it. Anything works. So I'm just going to pop that out. And then I'm going to grab my scrap of black paper. I love it when they come out with these. Excuse me. We have, I don't even know how to turn a, I don't even know how, this is our, that was our internet. We have our internet on a separate cell phone sitting here next to me. Never had it ring before. That was really strange. Okay, so these go together, so we can just layer these on. Let's go ahead and use some dimensionals again. And then we're just going to layer these on. I love this little die, this little punch. It's just super handy when you want to make a quick tag and you don't want to pull out a lot of products. Works good. All right, so that's done. So we're just going to glue it to the top of our card, or the bottom, or wherever you want it. So I'm going to add some liquid glue to the bottom and decide where we want it. I'm going to put it right here like I did my other card. Just a little bit more, like right there. Okay. Now all we have left is some embellishments. So since I don't have a lot of dark colors on there, I think I'm going to grab the Secret Sea, because it does have a little shimmer, and when you have it next to pink, it actually picks up some of that pink, which I think is fun. So we're going to go ahead and grab that. I'm going to put one up here. Whoops, move it over a little. And we'll put the other two down here. Actually, we could do, let's do it here. Okay, that's good enough. So there we go. That wasn't hard. So this is the accordion window flip card. Choose happy, be happy. I love this card. It's so cheerful. I know you can't see on the camera, but all of the Wink of Stella is just so cute on this bee. You can dress this up even more if you want. Let me show you the other samples that I made of this card fold. This uses the new Notes and Totes bundle. I love the dies. Look at this little paper clip. Is this not the cutest? So we've got a paper clip, arrows, hearts, stars. This little notebook paper, it has a stamp that does the lines, and then the die cuts the paper out. That is so much fun. You can do so many things with that. I use the Boho Vibe Suite. I use the paper for that. And then inside it says, "You've got this." So it says, "Happy back to school. you've got this, and I added some stars and a couple more of those arrows pointing to the words. So this one will be going to my grandchildren who just went back to school. And I thought this card was super fun. And it's not masculine or feminine, so since I have one boy, one girl at my oldest daughter's house, this will be great for them. And I'm going to put some little goodie bags with it. And then my third card I made with the Bloom Impressions of Bloom products. And this foil paper with the flowers is so pretty. If you don't have it, grab it. It comes in several colors and it's so pretty. And it went really well because it's the same kind of flowers. I used the 3D mini corrugated embossing folder to do this piece of white that I cut out. Of course, I did the die cutting the same exact way. I laid all of the layers together and die cut them, and then I took that white piece that popped out of the middle and ran it through the embossing folder to create that corrugated look. Now on this card, I used basic white for the inside, and then I added some panels. So if you add the panels, if you add a panel without a background, you just simply add 1 3/4 by 4 3/4 panel and just cut 2 of them. If you want to add a colored panel behind it, you're going to make the colored panel just be 1 7/8 by 4 7/8, so it's just a little bit bigger. But that's all I did. I just wanted to keep that white, that clean white look, but I wanted to add a little color, so I added some Secret Sea behind it, and it really goes well with the cloud cover anyway, so it came out really pretty. So there you go. There's our 3 samples. So we'll go ahead and lay them out for you to see one more time. Which one's your favorite? Let me know in the comments. Don't forget that I have a link below to my blog, which will give you cutting directions for everything, scoring directions, and I'll also in my blog have a list of the products that I use for each of the samples of this card. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel if you don't already, and click that bell to get notification when my videos post. Thank you so much for joining me today. I hope you get a chance to craft today and have a fabulous rest of the week. I will see you again next time. Bye.